Ricky, it's been a long time, man.
Yeah, I'm probably in the high school, probably, right?
Yeah, yeah. Tell me what you're working on.
Right now?
Yeah.
Shoot, just being a dad right now. Yeah. I don't know if you know, but I've had twins.
Oh,
So I had boy girl twins. They're 14 now, but so yeah, working right now. Just I'm in about to be in my 8th year in career that I changed to 8 years ago as a sales consultant for one of the largest wine and liquor distributors in the nation. So um, just working on being a good dad and being present and just
that's that's a job, man. I know it. Speaking of twins, we got some exciting news and possibly might be having some twins coming soon. My son Nathaniel just
oh,
got some news, so
congrats.
yeah. So I actually didn't know if he wanted that announced. So we'll see how that goes.
Oh, jeez. Well, at least you can cut it out.
That's true. That's true. So what is it like being like a dad? Is it with twins too? I mean, that's challenging.
I could tell you that from the moment they were born, it was like, go. Yeah. It's like, go. Like, um, my ex-wife, Alicia, you remember Alicia?
Yeah, yeah.
So we were together for almost a decade and a half. Um, and when they were born, she had a C-section and she had a moment where they gave her the twins and then they took them and she looked at me and was like, don't leave my babies alone. And boom, from then it was just like, we went in because they were 6 weeks early. So we spent, we spent 2 weeks in the NICU. They were 6 weeks early. And so, yeah, so when they took them away, I was watching one, trying to watch another. Why are you doing that? Who's doing that? And, and it actually, I mean, to life now, it's kind of the same thing because you've got two doing the same thing. So you're checking on one's grade, checking on the other's grade, checking their rooms, who's got, so it's been kind of, yeah, like I look back at their pictures and I'm like, where'd the time go?
Right.
14, we're about to enter high school next year. Yeah, it's
What's been the best part about that?
I don't know if you've heard this before, but the best and the hardest part about being a dad is, the best part is you watch your kids grow, and the hardest part is you're watching your kids grow up. And
Right.
so it's it's a labor of love, because it's hard. It's not easy, and I try to be as present as I can be for both of them.
Where does that come from? Why
Um,
why is that why is that important?
I had a father who wasn't. He early in life he was, and then in adolescence he kind of became more distant. Maybe because him and my mother got divorced, and for whatever reason he just decided he would, send money or buy you shoes, and he was there, in and out sometimes. But as of late, I actually I haven't. He had a birthday last week, and I think I sent him a message, and I didn't hear anything back. So,
So how long has that been? When did your parents get divorced?
when I was 12,
Oh, 12.
yeah,
Okay. And are you the oldest?
I am the oldest.
You are the oldest. Okay. So 12. So since 12 years old, you've had a relationship off and on, or is that had like,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
Okay.
like that. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he's around sometimes he's not. He was in Denver and he had a business here, but he sold it off and he moved back to his hometown or near his hometown in El Paso. He's from Juarez, but El Paso he's got some sisters that still live there, so he decided to retire and move back to, as they call it, El Chuco.
El Chuco.
Yeah.
Do you go there a lot, or have you been there before?
Gosh, my cousins are gonna hate me, but I'd say I would be there more often than I should. But I think I've won in the last 20 years, probably 3 times. Yeah. When
So
I was there with let's see, one of my cousins had a quinceañera, so I went for hers. My grandmother died. They had her funeral. And that might have been the last time I've actually was there. No, my cousins got married the year after my grandmother passed, and I was there for that.
So did you have to become dad for the family?
In a sense, yeah, yeah, I did. Actually, yeah, because he left to Georgia for a few years, and so I was the oldest. But I was lost in what I was doing too. So, um, that brings me to and that's why being present is important to me. I told my kids this the other day. I don't have a recollection of my father dropping me off at school, picking me up from school. He was at some concerts, but like academically not really involved. So I kind of make it a point. I take them to school when I have them. I pick them up when I have them. Even sometimes when I don't, I'll pick them up. Just kind of practices. Take them to practices.
Create all those memories.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I love that. I love that.
Someone once told me, kids won't always remember how much you spend or what you buy, but they'll always remember how you make them feel. So, I mean, dad can't buy everything, but I can be there for everything.
Yeah. So what was it like growing up? I had a similar situation where my dad wasn't around. He died when I was 10. And it was just not being present. My mom did the best she could. I mean, being mom and dad, raising, I was the only boy. So I don't think she knew how to raise a boy, but she did the best she could. And always, was there when I needed her. And I think that's what I remember, so I think that's super important, that just being a parent and being present, I think that's huge. So,
and same for me, like my mom, single mom. Yeah. I was the only boy. Didn't really know how to get a hold, allow me to go out and, hold back as well. She's a saint, man.
Yeah.
She was a tough cookie and had to be,
yeah.
so raising 3 of us.
Did you get into a lot of trouble when you were younger?
I wouldn't say trouble. I think I was only arrested twice. One for curfew.
Okay. Not a big deal.
And then once for, I think I stole a hat or something from the Crossroads Mall. And,
oh, yeah.
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 But yeah, I mean, that was enough for her to be worried, and reached out to all kinds of people and praying for, she was a praying mom. So pray for me, tried to take him to church. And, so yeah, so I mean, I think right around then I did have a revelation of coming to Christ, and I met Josh Sosa. I don't know if you remember Josh.
Yep.
I mean, met him. We've known each other for a long time, but I really didn't become friends with him right up in probably best friends till probably high school. I got into sports, kind of, it really dug me out of, the east side of Lafayette, the trailer parks and all the bad shit that's over there. Kind of just gave myself over, and, because I was smoking weed when I was in 8th grade and freshman year, like flunking out of school. My mom was definitely worried. And, but I turned it around. I just got committed to the wrestling team, football team, and, just decided to make sports a part of my life. Craig Walters, I don't know if you remember Craig. He was my old high school wrestling coach.
Yep.
He had a good talking with me, and he's like, "You have way too much potential to be hanging out with." I was hanging out with this crowd, and he's like, "That crowd, you're not part of that crowd. You have way too much potential to be wasting it over there." And he hooked me up with a mentor from the Latin community. So I talked with him for about a month, and then, just started hanging out with the right people and putting my energy back into school. And really, when I got involved at Centaurus, being part of, you know, sports, I feel like it's an important part of completing high school is to like get involved in the high school community because it saved me really,
Wow. Why do you think Walters took a liking to you?
I have no idea.
Did you ask him?
I think he saw some potential in me, so he was like, not going to give up on this kid. So
Yeah.
I mean, gosh, when I became a coach at Ridgeview for the wrestling team, I saw him at regionals. And gosh, this was before the kid, so maybe already 16 years ago. I let him know, like, dude, you saved me.
Wow.
Yeah.
How was that interaction?
He played it off like, of course, man, I believed in you and you're a good kid. And so.
Is he still around wrestling?
I don't think so.
No. Okay. He was a dang good coach.
Yeah, I haven't been for years either. Like since the twins turned about 7, I couldn't see myself giving up the time as a coach, and then because your kids make a lot of sacrifices when you're a coach, and I couldn't see myself being a full coach and giving up the time with my kids. So.
Yeah, a lot of weekends, a lot of holidays and practices and matches and all that stuff. So now that they're older, have you reconsidered it?
No, because my daughter's an all-star cheer right now, and
I know how that goes. Yeah,
so
you're traveling. Yeah.
Actually, we just came back from Dallas.
And
and then we'll be in Tampa next month, the end of next month.
Were you part of that scare that happened? How was that? So it's like somebody started shooting or something like that?
No, so that's what they thought. The story is that some guys got in a fight, some parents, a couple of dad parents, and they brought down this, because the ticket structures, they all have poles. Well, they knocked down 2 of the poles and they slammed on the floor, and people just took off. Thought it was a shooter.
Oh, wow. That was scary. I saw the videos and the news and everything else, and people just running out of the building. And
we actually hadn't gotten into the venue yet. We were on our way, and they were like, possible shooter, do not come.
Oh, dang. So what'd you do? You just booked it back to the hotel, or?
No, we went to the mall.
It's yeah, let's go. Let's go to the mall.
I didn't want to freak my daughter out and be like, oh my God.
Oh, that's true.
You know what? So I just was like, we can't go there right now. Let's go to the mall and see what happens and see what they say.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of speculation, a lot of TikToks, this and that, but no, hasn't actually been a confirmed shooter that was actually there.
So did you finish up the competition, or?
Yeah.
Okay.
The girls still competed. Oh, the kids, sorry, there's boys too. So they competed the next day, which usually we compete Saturday and Sunday. So they only got to compete on Sunday.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. The cheerleading is no joke. That is a full-time plus job. I mean, so what squad is she on?
The rock cheer.
Rock cheer.
Yeah.
Okay.
They're out in Henderson on Highway 85 and 136.
Okay. So when did you start bodybuilding? When did that start? Was that after high school, or is it something that you've always had a desire to do through high school? Were you lifting a lot?
Well, I lifted for sports, right? So just, I think it started 8th grade summer. My best friend at the time was Jose Duran, and his parents bought him a plastic weight set. And
is this the ones where you like fill it up with sand or water or whatever?
Yeah. So I got school, and Pumping Iron had come out, and I watched that movie, and I mean, I was 11, 12 years old, and I just took to it, and I was in his garage asking to go in, so I'd work out as much as I could. I remember his cousin came out one time, and he was like, hey, don't get too big. Like he literally told me that.
Why?
I don't know.
What's the problem with that?
I don't know. He had to tell me that because I was really into it. I got into it.
Wow.
And so, and then for wrestling, I lifted every day in the off season. You know, I'm 5'0", right? So I've got a little bit of athletic ability, but I'm 5'0". That was the one place where I could even the playing field with bigger guys.
Ah.
Oh, you can bench 225? I can bench 225. You can squat 225? I can squat 315. Like, you know, you can power clean 225? I can power clean 225. So that's where, for me, I leveled the playing field, and it
Like
felt good.
You could compete with somebody that was either taller or bigger than you, because it's just all about lifting weights. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. Our senior year, I was the strongest guy on the team, pound for pound, like comparatively.
That's a huge accomplishment. I mean, and then what about wrestling? How's that?
You know, I quit wrestling my senior year.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. Yeah. Okay. Why is that?
Because I'm an idiot.
Okay. Well, we had a good wrestling team.
We had a great wrestling team.
Oh my gosh. What, one state back to back? I mean, it was legit. So is that why you quit, or is that, you know?
No, I came off, I grew from, my freshman year, I weighed 119 pounds, soaking wet. I wrestled 119s. I moved up to varsity, wrestled 119s for a couple matches. I lettered my freshman year. And so I was, you know, potentially going to be really good in my senior year, but I fell in love with football and that whole just getting strong. And I wanted to go play football somewhere. And I had talked to a small little school. Me and Josh were going to go to Southwest Assemblies of God University and play football. And so I was like, I don't need to wrestle anymore. And
just focus on that.
Yeah. I wish somebody, if I could go back and talk to myself, I'd be like, bro,
you should have stuck with wrestling. Yeah.
Because that's actually my preferred sport. I really love it. I'd still watch it. I just finished watching the men's championship. So,
yeah, that was crazy.
Yeah. And I became a coach in it. So it's just when you're young, you just make dumb decisions. And
right.
I mean, I did maximize my post high school, you know, career as long as I could.
Do you regret? So is that your biggest regret? Is not pursuing wrestling further?
Yeah.
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 Do you think you could have got a scholarship to wrestle somewhere?
Somewhere small, and even then potentially bigger if I would have just, you know, kept at it with the drive and the focus that I have. Because when I quit, so back to bodybuilding, I was at CSU. I was in the pre-med program. So I do have some smarts, and I was talking earlier, my sister's the smartest, but
yeah.
I was in the pre-med program, so I was taking anatomy, physiology. I was taking all these courses, and I came home for winter break, and I was at 24 Hour Fitness, and the fitness director came up to me, and he's like, you want to be a trainer? And I was like, what? He's like, yeah. He's like, just be a trainer for a month before you go back to school. Let me give you this anatomy test, see if you pass it. That's how easy it was to become a trainer back then. I took this 100-question anatomy physiology test. I aced it, and
it's like, you can start tomorrow.
Yeah, and then I never went back to college.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I quit CSU, and I started training.
Dang.
Yeah, I started training people, and then as I was training people, I met this old man, and he's like, you look like Franco Colombo. I don't know if you know who that is, but
I don't know who that.
He's Arnold. He was one of Arnold's best friends, like little built bodybuilder guy. He's like, you do great in a bodybuilding show. You should do one. I didn't know anything about bodybuilding. So I was like, but I was buying magazines at the time. The biggest bodybuilder was Lee Priest, that I kind of related to because he was 5'0", just jacked. And so that guy inspired me, and I was like, okay, I'll try it. And I went and bought Arnold's Encyclopedia of Bodybuilding. I read it front to back, back to front. I read it 4 or 5 times. I did everything he said in the book before my first show. So that was January. I competed. I used the book. My first show was that March.
Oh, that's fast.
Yeah.
Did you know, were you freaked out? I mean, like, this is your first competition.
No. And I picked an all natural competition. So, so guys weren't using PEDs or anything, but, I showed up.
How'd you do?
I took third.
Okay.
So that lit my fire. Like so there's 2 things when it comes to bodybuilding. Either you love the preparation or you love the stage. So for me, the prep, it's a labor of love. I kind of hate it, but I'll deal with it.
What do you hate about it?
It's tenuous.
Like you're like counting calories,
It's tenuous.
Like just reps and just using the math behind it.
I mean, now, yeah. I read back then, it was actually fun. Like when I read the book and I did it, I was like, oh, that's not that hard. Third place. Well,
yeah. It's like, this is nothing.
This is what's funny. When I got to the show, guys were like, who did your prep? And I was like, what does that mean? Who did my prep? I did my prep. And they were like, oh, did you carb deplete? Did you load back up? And I was like, I had no idea what they were talking about.
The language is different. Yeah.
And the language had changed since Arnold's days, or when he wrote that book. Like these guys were, doing 2 cardio sessions a day. I was doing a 15-minute run.
Which is nothing really.
Yeah. Right? They were eating 5 meals a day. I was eating 4. Like it was a different, I tanned myself with Tropicana's South Tanner. Oh, yeah. But everybody there was getting spray tanned by a professional spray tanner.
Oh, dang.
Yeah. Like, so I had no idea what I was doing, but I went and I got third.
Wow. So then you're like, I could do this.
Yeah.
I could do this.
Uh-huh. And then my posing routine, I like to pop a lock. So that was my favorite part, like getting out there and just being myself and, going through some poses and doing some dancing. And I found love, boom, like that. And it's been, if I don't call myself retired, I've been actively bodybuilding for almost 30 years.
Dang.
I was 24. The year before I met my ex-wife, I was 24.
What's the average lifespan of a bodybuilder? Is that 10 years? Like when do you peak? Is it an age?
It depends who you are.
Okay.
It really does. It depends how much effort you put into it, what you want out of it, how well you're taking care of your body, how well your body responds to the punishment you're putting it through. The Phil Heaths and the Jay Cutlers of the world, those guys had great potential at the beginning, so they blossomed quickly, right? Like Phil went from his first show, he turned pro 3 shows later. From there, he went, Ironman was an Arnold winner, and then he won 7 Olympias.
Dang.
Yeah.
What's like the Mecca? Like is it the Olympian or
the Olympia?
That's Olympia. Okay.
The Arnold and the Olympia are probably the 2 highest, not just money wise, but also accolade wise.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what did you ever place in those?
No. I haven't even sniffed. I never got my pro card.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's it take to be pro?
You got to win in a national show, a top national show. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. So what advice would you give that teenage boy that's looking to get into bodybuilding? What would you tell him? Take your time. Yeah. Okay. What does that mean?
Just take your time. I feel like watching the current generation right now, they want it to happen quickly, very quickly. They want, and they'll resort to, doing PEDs quickly and, jumping on and just trying to push to get to be a pro super quick. I think now with social media, you can get more attention and, get it paid for that way. But in my day, it was, you know, if you didn't become a top 5 bodybuilder in the world, you weren't making any money. And so, but I would tell them, don't be in a hurry. It'll happen when it's going to happen. If you have the potential to be great, it's going to happen for you. No matter, if it's for you, it's going to be for you no matter what.
What would be a realistic time horizon for, do you say, well, you need to give it 10 years, you need to give it 5 years, you need to give it like before they start seeing, really good results? What would be a realistic time frame?
Depends how old you are. It depends on your physique, right? If you've already got this physique that's holding muscle, it's going to be easier for you to grow. And from 19 to 25, you'll make the biggest gains of your lifting life.
Okay.
Your jumps will be bigger. Right?
Okay.
Your jumps will be bigger to really get, that muscle mass on you. After you've been in the gym for 5-10 years, your jumps are smaller, right? Changes are smaller. You can also at that time, you can detail more of your muscle tissue. You can go from growing it to detailing, getting it dense. And so, it just depends really who you are, right? Like, some guys will quickly put on muscle and get lean down. And there's a lot of guys out there who probably could have been great, but for some reason they don't like the diet or they can't handle it. Mentally, it's grueling.
What's the hardest part?
That's the diet.
It's the diet. Like, what's a typical diet?
The diet and the cardio will crush your spirit. It can crush your spirit if you're not made right.
But did you ever want to just like quit?
Oh yeah, every day.
You're like, this sucks.
Every day. I got 0 carbs today. I got 85 minutes of cardio to do plus my workout. Yeah.
Oh, because I was thinking, I'm like, I'm 46. You're a little bit older than I am, right?
Not by much. I'm only 47.
Okay. Yeah. You're still older. And I want to get back into the gym. What advice would you give me?
Start with your diet.
And what kind of diet would you recommend?
High protein. I wouldn't say 0
carnivore.
No, because you run out of energy too fast.
Oh, okay. You need some carbs.
Your body is used to carb intake. If you cut that out completely at the beginning, you're going to be exhausted. And you can grit it out. Yeah. 2 weeks. In 2 weeks, you'll be in ketosis. You'll start using your body fat, and you'll start making.
What's ketosis? Because I hear that a lot. What is that?
Essentially, it's when you're, gosh, you did put me on the spot. You're depleted of carbs. So now your body's going to use stored body fat energy it's like, why the Atkins diet was created.
Yeah.
Keeping your body at 0 carbs puts you in the Krebs cycle of ketosis, which induces they call it brown fat or inside fat usage for fuel. When your body needs fuel, it'll go there first. The problem with that is that your brain needs energy. The only way to get your brain energy is carbs.
Ah, okay. So what are some of your favorite carbs?
Oof. White rice is a staple on my diet. Yeah, I do a lot of white rice. Okay. It processes faster. I don't feel as full. I've gotten away from oatmeal. Oatmeal makes me too bloated, so I don't do much oatmeal. And then the way I do it, like white rice, there's varieties of it, right? There's creamy rice. So I can do that in the morning. Grits are good too. Rice cakes. I do a lot of rice cakes. It's really anything that's not super processed. I'll do some potatoes. Try to like middle of the day because they also make you run a little bit slower. Or
Like a baked potato or mashed potato? Baked potato?
Baked.
Okay.
Baked.
Okay.
Usually sweet potatoes are good too. Yeah. Sweet potato is probably my favorite because it's kind of sweet. And when you're in that diet phase, that's probably probably one of the sweetest things you'll get naturally, right? Without aspartame or
Oh, yeah.
dextrose or, the stuff that they sweeten your protein powder with.
Ah. When you have your body so fine tuned like that, like a little bit of aspartame or those sweeteners, does it really affect you? Like you can feel it?
You can feel it. You can taste it.
Ugh.
Some of them mess my stomach up. Some of them make you feel lightheaded almost. Like I even
lack
stopped.
of focus?
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah. Okay.
I even stopped using protein powders when I'm about 8 weeks out because I can really feel the difference in my brain activity when I'm. So I'll just stick to whole food if I can.
What about intermittent fasting? How do you feel about that?
I do some of it. Yeah.
What's the benefit?
Yeah. Like right now, I don't eat till noon most days, and then I'll eat from then on till bed.
Oh wow, that's okay. And then do you have like a hard cutoff? Like I'm not eating past 8?
Yeah. Usually,
Yeah. Okay.
Usually I'm in bed by 9, so it's 9 o'clock.
It's easy.
Yeah. But when I'm competing, when I'm in that diet phase, as long as I'm not blowing out my calorie intake, I'll eat every 3 hours. Yeah. And
so it's all about counting calories then?
Not really.
No.
It's
okay.
Shift. Because if I would say it's not just calories in, calories out, it is in a sense, but it's also what calories, at what time are you getting them? How long do those calories take to process? Because some things are denser, might take you all day to burn, whereas you're keeping things lighter, right? Lighter carbs, sense like when I mean lighter, it's lower on the glycemic index. So it doesn't spike your insulin, things like that. Some things you do want to spike your insulin, like after a workout, replenish your glycogen levels. You do that after your workouts. That's where you try to keep those high glycemic carbs in. Essentially, you're just trying to keep your metabolism just moving and keeping your body guessing, right? Your body's a homeostasis machine. It's always looking to get back to homeostasis, right? We don't want no fluctuation. We want to run evenly. So what you do with your diet is, okay, you low calorie for a while, right? And then your body's like, oh wait, what happened? So then it makes changes in your body. I got to figure out how to get back to normal. But it's at some point that low calories, your body gets used to running on low calories. So now you're at homeostasis again. So what do? You got to do something else. Okay, instead of doing low calorie, what I'll do is I'll increase my protein. I'll decrease my carbs. In a sense, it's a change in calories too, but you're shifting your energy source in a sense, right? So now it's going to what I'll try to do is use a high fat, high protein diet during that time to get through the energy needing phases. And then you just kind of keep fluctuating your diet that way.
Wow.
Yeah.
And what's the benefit of that, changing and trying to keep your body off balance a little bit? Like what is it? What's the benefit in your body?
It forces that's where you're forced your body to change. That's what you're doing. You're forcing your body to not hit homeostasis. You want it to, it's going to change again. So what it'll do, it'll start, hopefully what you want is for it to take from your fat storages, get rid of that. And you want it to build muscle mass by feeding it the right amino acids, the right time points, the right protein. It's really a mad science.
That is crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. And how are you feeling when you're doing all these changes? Is it, like you said, lightheaded? Is it hungry? Is it like, what are all the
last 4 weeks you're hungry?
Okay.
You're really hungry. You're hungry all the time. And no matter how you just ate a meal, you're 30 minutes, you're hungry again and you want to eat some more. But at that point, you are doing both. You're cutting calories, you're cutting carbs, all of it. So, you're trying to get as lean as possible. So at that time, you're pretty, how would I call it? Walking in the clouds.
Oh,
Because
okay.
you're kind of spacey.
Oh, yeah.
The workouts you're in the gym probably now 2 hours a day. If you can get it in the morning, then you're getting your workout at night.
Dang. That sounds miserable.
We have a term. It says embrace the suck.
Yeah.
Yeah. So at that point, you're just like, it's what it is. And, I don't know what it is about me, but I've been doing it so long that I do enjoy it when I'm out of it. Right. Like when you're in it, you're like, oh, this sucks.
Yeah.
But you just, you got that switch and you're just like, I got to finish. I committed to this, commitment to yourself. And so, but when you're in it, you're like, this sucks. And then when you're out of it, you're like, proud of yourself for getting through it. And then, yeah.
So is that some of the,
and then sometimes you miss it. I mean, like, man, I miss feeling like that.
What?
Yeah.
That's odd.
It is.
You're kind of sick.
Yeah.
What about water? How much water are you drinking?
Right now, a gallon. When I'm in that time, almost 2 gallons
a day.
Yeah.
How is that even possible? Because I try to do like that 75 hard, and trying to drink a gallon of water a day. It's like I can barely do it.
I don't know. It's all I drink, I guess. Yeah,
you just constantly just have some
by the
water.
end. I'm probably a gallon and 3/4 by the end of it.
Ugh. Like, and you're so full. I mean,
not really.
No.
I mean, you can. It's kind of weird too. At that time, you can, at night, you can see all the water you've drinking in your body. You're a little fuller. Your muscle bellies are full.
You're squishy.
Not squishy, but you feel it. The look is called full. You look full. Like your lines are a little blurry. Your abs aren't as crisp. And then you go to bed, and of course, you drink that much water. You're peeing all night most times, and then you'll wake up, and then you look the crispest. That's your body's pushed all that water out, and so your lines are probably the best.
So is that when you're in the morning? So you're looking in the mirror, you're like, oh yeah, this looks good. Right before the shower, it's like you look the best.
Yep.
Yeah. For me, right before the shower, I look the worst. So how do you do this and work? Like how do you
just do it? Just do it.
You just learn to do it?
Yeah, you just learn. I get a little annoyed with the people who complain through their prep because no one's forcing you to do it. You chose to do it. So stop complaining.
Okay. I could see that. Yeah. It's a choice, right?
You chose to do it. So why
just shut up and do it?
Yeah. Why
or quit.
About it?
Just quit.
Yeah. You don't have to do this. No one's forcing you to do anything.
Right. So if I looked at you and I was like, this is a healthy guy. Do you feel healthy?
At the time?
Yeah.
No.
Is it healthy?
You know what? 8 weeks out, it feels pretty healthy. You're probably the leanest you are without hurting yourself. The last 4 weeks gets weird because now you're fluctuating water, you're fluctuating a lot of your carbs. I think the first 8 weeks, it's pretty healthy. I mean, because you're eating a lot of lean meats, you're still eating a lot of vegetable. You're doing more cardio than you've probably ever do in your life, and it's just those. Maybe not even the last 4 weeks. The last week is really when you feel super weird because you waterlog first, so you push as much water as you can into your system, and then you push it all back out. And then, it's like a timing thing where you want to push enough water, enough carbs, enough sodium, all into your muscle bellies for those 2 minutes that you're on stage.
That's all you get is 2 minutes.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
Call outs could be maybe 10 minutes long. If it's a good bunch of you up there, they'll work you out to see who's gonna make it through. So, but essentially, yeah.
Oh, that's. What's your favorite weightlifting move? What's your favorite?
Squats probably.
Oh, why is that?
Because I've
Like
got strong legs and just like to feel powerful.
It's like the foundation. Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't barbell back squat anymore, but I mean, I used to heavy.
Yeah. What about deadlift? Is that
some guys like deadlifts. I deadlift sometimes, but I'm short trunked. So on a deadlift, when you're pulling up, you squeeze your abdomen and it'll make you thicker in the abdomen because you're using all the muscles right there.
Right.
And my ass is already huge, so like I don't really need to deadlift anymore.
You're naturally gifted in that side.
I have overactive glutes.
Okay.
Yeah, they'll pull on my sciatica.
Oh.
Yeah.
Have you ever been injured?
Yes.
What was that like?
Oh, horrible.
Was it back?
Oh, I mean injured. Like, you know what? I've never been injured. Oh, so no. I tore my pec.
Oh.
In 2010, I want to say.
How'd you do that?
Just regular benching.
Oh,
okay.
Out of
nowhere, yeah. I ripped the most superficial part of my pectoral.
And what did that feel like?
Like flat tire.
Oh.
Like you're pushing and then all of a sudden, like all the air just got let out of your muscle.
Oh. Yeah. What's the recovery like on that?
Took me about a year. To feel normal. And I didn't have surgery because it ripped at the muscle insertion between the tendon and the muscle, and they can't sew that back together.
Oh, okay.
They can reattach your tendon to your bone, but they can't sew tendons back together.
Oh, that's like a common, well, you hear it a lot in like football, NFL. Yep. Like they go for a tackle or something. It's like ripped.
And it's also the bench press is an unnatural movement. So I don't barbell bench press anymore. Since that happened, I do dumbbells, I do machines. I don't load up the bar anymore. That's why guys are like, "Hey, dude, how much do you bench?" I'm like, I don't max out anymore. I don't do that. I'm too old.
Right. Yeah. So, is there a benefit from using the dumbbells versus the bench?
Well, you get more of a bilateral movement, right? So you can position your dumbbells to your comfort level of where you're pressing them.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. That's a huge benefit then. Yeah. Okay.
And a lot of the independent movement machines too can do that for you as well. Yeah. It's the dumbbell or the barbell flat bench is a fixed position movement that's unnatural, really.
Oh, okay.
I mean,
that's true. Yeah. Like, what are you going to do?
When do you do that?
That's true.
Even football players should probably focus on a incline press. Like linemen, they should focus on an incline press because they're always pushing up.
And they're always pushing up like that. Yeah, that makes more sense. Yeah, that is an unnatural movement. Like, yeah, what are you going to do? Can't even pick up kids or anything like that. Yeah.
You're not fighting anybody off like that.
Right.
I mean, if you fall face first on the ground, you pick yourself up. But,
like, oh, there you go. Well, what about push-ups?
I mean, yeah. If you have no other way to get in shape, yeah, of course.
Yeah.
I mean, I started push-ups and sit-ups and all of that when they didn't have a gym, right?
Yeah.
So, but I mean, there's a place for them. But yeah, if you're trying to grow, it doesn't make sense to do. It's not everything has its place, right? So at the beginning, but I think at that time for me, it was probably overuse, do the same movement over and over.
Yeah. Oh man. So that set you back a year?
Yeah, roughly. Yeah. But
And
really, I tore this, I pretty much blew my left knee out on Halloween night, dressed as the wrestler, trying to wrestle a friend
like in somebody's yard or driveway
in
or
the
something?
kitchen.
Oh jeez. It's like,
I think he made a comment. He's like, "You're not a wrestler," and I gave him I did a ballet to back. I picked him up and I was gonna toss him over my head, but I caught him and I was gonna bring him down, and my knee caught and it popped, and then both of us hit the floor. Blah.
What was it, ACL?
ACL, meniscus.
Oh, that's awful.
Yeah.
So that set you back at least a year. Yeah. So did that happen just before the chest or the
After?
pec?
No, it happened. Yeah, that happened before, and then I tore my pec. I had come back to do the Rocky that year.
What is the Rocky? What is that? Is
It's
it
just
a competition?
show. It's called the Rocky Mountain NPC bodybuilding show.
Okay.
But it happens every year. So if you know somebody in the bodybuilding world, have you ever done the Rocky? They'll be like, "Oh, I know what you're talking about."
It's a
If
staple.
They're local, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So what was your typical day like when you were in it? Like mid-20s, you were training for a competition. Are you like one of those 4 a.m. risers and you go to the gym, you eat, work out, and you live and breathe?
I wouldn't say 4 a.m., but 7 a.m.
Okay. Not an early riser, huh?
Oh, no.
Okay.
I've never been. I used to train clients at 4 or 5 in the morning. I'm so glad I don't do that anymore.
Yeah. That's a grind.
It's a grind. Some people love getting up in the morning and hitting the gym and doing. That's just not who I have ever been.
Yeah.
I grudgingly will show up in the morning and give my best effort if that's what you need from me, but I don't prefer it. I'd prefer a couple meals in, Do you
drink coffee?
Coffee, please.
Okay.
Yeah, twice. Give me 2 if I can. But my energy's what I've learned from myself, trial and error, and lots of 5th places and 3rd places and 2nd places and a few firsts. But what I've learned is how to live that life with who I am, right? If I'm not an early person, why am I continually forcing myself and letting myself down by not getting up in the morning and doing my cardio? So do what works for you and your energy, right? I can get up at 7 and do 30 minutes of cardio. No problem. That's okay with 30, 40 minutes. I can do that. If you're asking me to get up at 4 to do it, no, I'm sorry. I've learned that from myself. I'll let you down. I'll let myself down. So let's not even put that in my routine because I'm not going to do it. No matter how much I want to try, I know myself. I'm not going to do it.
So is that what you told when you were training other people? Did you try to figure out what their unique schedule was?
When is your energy the highest? That's when you have to capitalize on, who the changes that you want to make, right? When is your energy the highest? Let's work around that, and hopefully we can make some changes with that. And the thing about most people who you train or try to help is they're going from zero activity to a lot of activity, right? So they don't even know what works for them.
Mm-hmm.
So that's harder because that's baby steps. That's okay. You've canceled on me 3 times at 5 a.m. in the morning. Maybe 5 a.m. is not for you.
Right.
Right. So you got to start to think about those things. There are people who I've trained. I've trained a few guys for the gym who, for their life, their work, they have to get up at 4:30. They have to do that gym workout or else they won't get it in. So that's
whether they're an early riser or not, they're going to have to do it.
Yeah. Because that's for them, that the lifestyle precedes that. I can't, I can't save it for the end of the day. Right. And some people also know that too. Hey, if I don't get it done in the morning, by the time night comes, this comes up, that comes up. I don't get to the gym. I have to skip it this day. And then it becomes 3 days that I've done it. So people just know if I get it done first thing, it's done. It's out of the way. And I don't have to worry about it anymore.
Yeah. It's not ideal, but it gets done.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So who are you looking up to these days? Have your mentors changed from either Arnold or some of the other guys to somebody else?
Arnold's the staple. And
Really?
as far as bodybuilding goes, that's just, he's still in the business.
He's still relevant?
Not that he's competing or anything, but he still runs one of the biggest shows. He's still relevant as far as, I think if you were to ask any bodybuilder who's into bodybuilding, Arnold is that icon of ours. That, especially from my era, Arnold, Sylvester Stallone, those 80s guys that are still doing it, still alive, still, I think my dad a while ago asked me, how long are you going to do this? And I was like, forever? Those guys are still doing it. So yeah, I plan probably to do it forever.
Wow. Yeah. Is there an over 50s club or whatever?
Oh yeah. There's a Masters.
Really? Okay. Yeah.
There's a Masters.
Okay.
Actually, that's the only, not the only, but probably because I didn't get my pro card, when I should have in my younger years for whatever reason of slacking off or not taking things as seriously as I thought I was. Masters is another shot if, I really want to complete that cycle.
Check that box.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So in I competed in 21, 22. I went to the Masters, NPC Masters, where you can get your pro card as a 45 and above, 35 and above. And I took 8th and I was like, I'm done. And then as of recent, I've been getting the itch to like, maybe before 50, just give it one more go.
One last rodeo.
Yeah. The only thing what I thought about was if I turned pro at 50, I can't compete as an amateur anymore.
Oh, okay.
So the good and the bad of it right now is that if I get the itch to compete, I can do it and I can jump on stage here locally, no problem. If you get your pro card, you can't do that. You got to strategically wait till there's a pro show and then go do that.
Do you still get, or did you ever get nervous? Get right before you get on stage, what's that feeling like? You got butterflies? You're nervous?
It's just like game time.
Yeah. Okay.
It's like game time. It's good to be nervous, right? If you're not nervous, you don't care about it.
Yeah.
So yeah, a little bit of nerves, a little bit of butterflies. And then, but once the music hits, you just lock in. Yeah. And you got to do a lot of practicing, lots and lots of practicing.
So you just go to the gym and you just practice? Is there like a stage somewhere where you can do that?
Just find an open aerobics room or whatever. I do a lot of posing at home. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's kind of like an art.
Oh yeah.
Trying to do the right movements to show the right muscles and things like that.
Yeah.
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 Dang.
Yeah. Some guys take it, like myself, we take it pretty serious. And some guys don't. And then you can see it on stage. You should have probably practiced a little bit more. Right. So, because some guys throw a couple of poses and then they just start doing most musculars the entire time.
Is that the default?
Yeah.
Yeah. You ever thought about being a judge?
Yeah. I don't want to do that.
No? Why?
No. I don't want to be responsible for. It's so subjective to, like. That's the one thing I had to swallow as a competitor is not everybody's going to like your body, no matter how in shape you come in. Some guys just don't like your physique, the way it's made, the way looks. Some guys have pretty physiques and everything about it looks great. So it's so subjective to who's looking at you. And they do have criteria of what they're following. But for me, I just didn't see my want to do that.
Okay. Yeah.
It's like become a ref for wrestling, right?
Yeah.
I could, but I don't really want to be that guy. And there's some, don't get me wrong, there's some great refs. I've had some relationships with some refs that are awesome, but just not for me.
Okay. Yeah. When you're going through all this training and you got the diet and you've got the routine, are you fun to be around? Or are you just grouchy and just how does it affect your family?
You have moments. I've younger me was probably very quip, right? If you irritated me, then you irritated me, and I was irritated. With my kids now, later in my life, I try to be cognizant of it's not their fault that I'm dieting. It's not their fault that my carbs have been cut. It's not their fault that my energy's low. So I try to be very patient with them so that they don't feel, any difference in who I am.
Yeah, they're like, nah, Dad's training again. He's just in a bad mood, and then they just try to disconnect.
I don't think I've been very cognizant of for them not to feel that way. We actually do more because I try to be more active. I try to burn calories all the time. So let's go to the park. Let's go walk. Let's go grab the dog. Let's go.
Gotcha. Yeah. Yeah.
Younger me was different. You can ask my ex-wife about that.
Yeah. Probably pretty tough to live with when you're going through those things.
I could say there was some, God bless her heart, there were some turbulent times that, and it's probably why we got divorced, to be honest with you, I wasn't making great money. I was difficult to be around. I didn't want to take vacations because I was always training. Or if we were taking a vacation, it's because I was competing. And so that lifestyle gets tough. And I was placing not very well. So what was the pull for? What was all the squeezing for? And, so God bless her heart that she put up with it. And she was very supportive, to be honest with you. So I can't blame her for that. And, sometimes as a man, you got to be like, I got to swallow that pill. And I did.
Yeah. Yeah.
Unfortunately. The great thing about that is that, we did end up getting divorced, and, we just decided that we were going to make a friendship out of the situation and, cordially raise our kids and not badmouth each other and do all of that. Because, people even ask us, how do you guys do it? Because we're friendly. We go to vacations together.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
So we'll do all that.
How does that feel?
What do you mean?
Like, it's just like a friendship? But okay.
It's like traveling with a good friend. Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah. I mean, we've got kids together. We got to, come back to, the beginning with my father and my mother getting divorced. It was kind of tumultuous. Your dad's this, your dad's that, and then you're like, here, sometimes you're acting just like your dad. You're like, well, according to you, my dad's this and piece of that and SOB that, right? Like, so it mixes your mind up as a kid. So you're like, fuck, what's that about? And so her and I was like, you know what, my upbringing, and I don't want that. I'm not, I'm not going to talk bad about you. Even when I am angry, it's just being cognizant of the words that come out of your mouth about your ex-partner or the mother of your children, because it has a lot to do with how your kids are affected. And I'm grateful that she did the same thing. And not that we were perfect. We had still disagreements and financial disagreements and things like that. But for the most part, we try to just keep it on the level so that our kids can benefit from it and, still have some love for each other, because we did at some point, and just decide to do the right thing for the kids,
Dang, that's Is that one of the hardest things you've had to go through?
Yeah, I had a
Because I would say it's the diet, but that seems pretty tough.
actually, yeah, the diet's harder.
Yeah.
Because really what it comes down is for this to work, you got to swallow your ego. For me and her to coexist at the beginning, especially, I had to swallow my ego. You know, you had to swallow that, no, what do they call that? That machismo that comes out of you when you see her with someone else, or when she's doing good on her own. Like, you got to, as a man, you you kind of get hurt by it, but you created the disruption. I created the disruption. She did it. So you just got to kind of like swallow a little bit of that pride and just be like, you know, it's okay. That all of that's okay. She, whether she moves on with someone else, that's okay. You know, it's doesn't take away from my love for my kids. And, you know, why be insulted by it? That at one point you wanted her to be yours. So why would you be insulted that someone else wants her to be hers?
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's some things that logically men should think, but because their pride is so high, they won't even allow themselves. Like, I'm the best she's ever had, and can't believe she left me. You know what I mean? Like, that stuff. If she would have been the best she ever had, she would have never left you. Like, bro, calm down.
Did it take you a while to get there mentally?
Oh yeah. I think it was. She had a long relationship with this past ex. She had a really long one, and at the beginning, you know, I was single and just by myself, and the kids would be like, "Dad, do you love so and so? Do you like him?" And I'd be like, "I like him as far as I can throw him." Like, I would make weird comments like that, you know, and
little digs. Yeah,
and I, you know, it came to my light later that the kids weren't fully accepting of him because of the comments I was making. So I had to stop that. Then, you know, it says, you know, more love for them doesn't mean less love for me, right? If some other guy wants to treat them like their own, that's okay. That doesn't mean that they're going to, I'm always going to be dad. I'm dad number one. So I had, you know, you have to get that sting out of you and just work through it and be like, it's okay. It's all right. They're always going to come home to me. They're always going to look for me. I'm always going to be here. So yes, I do like so-and-so. Yes, he's cool. Yes, that's all right. You can, you know, you can accept that part of him for you too, so that you don't have to go back and forth, you know, and feeling that way. Cause it's confusing for a kid. I can imagine, you know, so.
Did your mom ever have a relationship outside of your dad?
I mean, later in life, yeah, I was already in high school.
Okay, so you didn't have to go through that. Like, your kids had to go through it.
Yeah, no.
Okay.
Yeah, so that was definitely a different dynamic that, you know, I've dealt with for sure than that they've dealt with, and that I'd never had to.
Did you have to have like therapy or a therapist to help you do this, or did you just from a spiritual point of view?
I probably should have, but no. No, I just, yeah, spiritually, you know, just decided to be, I mean, I want to say I was the bigger man, but, you know, but yeah,
there's some humility there I can hear.
Yeah. I just decided that, you know, I don't want to confuse my kids and in that structure. And if mom wants to move on, she can move on. Like, it's okay.
It's so super cool because it's extremely humble, but you're not in a humble business. So how does he bridge that?
You know, that's the biggest thing probably people get from me. I have an intimidating look. Fuck you face probably. So I got resting bitch face for sure. Like, people tell me, yo, you're so intimidating. But I'm really like I'm just not that guy internally. Like I was raised by my mother, so I have some feminine qualities inside of me.
Softer side.
Yeah, softer side of me that's actually who I am. Um, all that macho bravado stuff really kind of gets on my nerves, anyways. To be real with you, um, and I think that's the problem with a lot of us guys right now is that we're always, especially from our era, like talking about your feelings and all of that business was not something that we
vulnerability.
Yeah, yeah, get over it. Like, bro, why are you don't have time to be sad. It's time to move on, right? But yeah, just and just finding a level of comfortability for me to be vulnerable all the time and humble. And I'm I'm already intimidating in a sense. I mean, I'm not 6 foot tall, but I'm tall as I am wide, so people do notice me. I don't need to be anything but that. And, so there are some good qualities that I got from my dad. My dad always told me, it's better to make a friend than an enemy. You don't know when you're going to need them. So, that's something that stuck with me. So anybody I meet, whether it be the gym on the side of the road or in the corner store, if you want to talk me up about working out, surprisingly, I'm nice and I will talk to you,
Yeah. So what's next for you? Do you think another relationship or just get back to the gym,
that's not to say
work
that
on yourself?
That's not to say I had an engagement that didn't work out 3 years ago, right around the same time as bodybuilding the last time. And it's been 3 years of trying to move on and try to be friends. And I probably, actually, what's next for me is just do me. And, my kids are going to go into high school. I think I'm really going to focus on these next 4 years is making life comfortable for them. And, I'm so close to becoming a homeowner again. And so just try to get us into like a grounded place so that they can get through high school and call it home and bring their friends and just do all the high school stuff that's just fun,
Yeah.
Just let them be high school kids and be there, just be through the whole thing and encourage them. And yeah, do I, that's probably family dad goal. I would love to find the time to train again and get back on stage and just give it one more
rip. Rodeo.
Yeah, just one more rip. And
what would have to happen in order for you to do that? Is it just a decision
win $1 million? It's expensive.
Really? Why?
Oh yeah.
Well, okay, so
food costs, especially the way things are.
Rice is cheap.
Chicken's not cheap.
Okay. The protein stuff.
I mean, think about it. You're eating 6 pounds of meat a day, roughly.
That's expensive.
It's expensive.
Yeah.
And then throw your supplements in, right? Throw your supplements in there. God bless the ladies who do it because they pay for makeup and hair and $1,000 suits. And for me, it's a little banana hammock. I can buy 3 for $50
at Amazon. It's like,
but then it's not cheap to actually compete. You have to $175 NPC card. It's 75. Last I checked, it's $75 per division that you enter. So if you want to do masters and you want to do open, you got to pay for both. So
these competitions have to make money too.
Yep. And then you got to get tanned and, it's just not. And then I use a guy now too, to help me get prepared, as I should have done early in my career, who I have to pay as well for his time to look me over. And so that's money there too. So,
is that an entire business?
Oh yeah. I could make it a business of myself.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
No?
My passion it used to be people that wanted to change, but you end up being a therapist. So I should just get a therapy degree and become a therapist.
There you go.
But
that's how it is in real estate too.
Yeah. But if you're, let's see, do you remember Randy Gale? He's the last guy that helped get ready for a show. He showed me a level of commitment because we had tried before and through our years as friends. But this last time he came to me, he's like, I'm committed. I'm going to do it. And so I was like, all right, I'll help you. And we did it. He got through it. And
what was his level of commitment? Because you're like, that was like way up here, right? What did that look like? Is that inspiring for you?
No, it does inspire me. Don't get me wrong, but it's a fulfillment of the expectation I had for you all along. Like, I always knew you could do this. I always knew you could do this. You just had to commit to it yourself, which is most people, right? I can see it in you. Man, you'd be great. You just got to commit to it. But I can't make you commit. And I feel like when you try to train some guys and gals, you're always convincing them to commit. And it gets tiring. No matter how much you pay me, it's tiring to convince you to commit to yourself every day, right? So I just decided that unless you can show me some real grit and that this is what you want, I'll help you.
That's probably how my coach felt about me. It's like, I can't be more motivated than you are. Yeah. You know, that's the thing. So, wow. Dang. I could see now it's starting to click for me how challenging this industry is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is it harder for females?
I think so. I mean, it's hard, period.
Right.
But for females, yeah. I mean, females aren't naturally made of muscle, you know.
They got to work twice as hard, whatever it is. Yeah.
Yeah. That's why I'm super impressed by moms who compete, because I'm like, you had kids, you work, and you got yourself on stage. Like, you overcame a ton. It takes a lot of commitment. It says a lot about a person's determination, worth, respect level for themselves. Like, yeah.
If your next partner says they want to do it, how would you feel about that? I
mean, my last partner, that's how we met. We were kind of both getting together, both getting on stage, and I'm very supportive. I support you all the way. Do it. If it's something you've been wanting to do, get it done. Go for it. Sometimes the hard line is, hey, will you coach me? Will you coach me to do it?
Then you got to be boyfriend, coach, and that always gets difficult.
It's super difficult.
Yeah.
And not to say that I wouldn't, and I haven't done it, but it's really hard because now, and it's hard for anyone to put two hats on, right? You know, I'm telling you, you need to cut your carbs. You didn't do your cardio, this and that, but then I also have to tell you look good in that dress. Like, which part of you do you believe? You know what I'm saying? So it's a battle. Like, it's a
no-win for you, actually.
If I could pick, I don't want to coach you. I don't want to help you. I just want to support you, because that's easier. Now I just need to love you through it and support you through it, not give you the real deal. And then, because it's two different things, right?
Yep.
You could look good normally, no problem. But if you're trying to get on stage, I know what they're looking for. I know what they want to see. And sometimes telling somebody you love that, giving that hard pill to swallow, it's hard.
Yeah. Are you happy?
Am I happy? Currently? Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, yeah, I'm in a good place in my life right now. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we can always make more money. I've overcome a lot, and my kids are blossoming, and I think we're in a good spot where we can get better. Just life's going to get better, I feel like.
So what's get better mean? What are you going to work on to get better?
Well, finishing my degree. So yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. So hopefully that gets done in the next year and can move on to better and bigger places at work, I guess.
What's your degree in?
Sports management, oddly.
Okay.
Well, I was a business major, but then I found out I'd have to take calculus. So I was like,
that's a no.
I'm not taking
that's a deal breaker
again. That's a deal breaker. So I switched to sports management, and they allowed my old college algebra credits to count. So I'm like, or trigonometry credits. Like, yeah, let's just stick with that and finish it out. Because I only had like 26 credits left.
Dang.
Yeah.
So why did you start and stop? What was it?
Career changes, not needing that. Like, I think when I first went back the first time, I was going to get into youth corrections.
Oh.
So I was like, I'll get my criminal science degree, and then I got out of that quickly, thank God. And so then, then I just didn't need it. So then I stopped again, and then went back to being just all about fitness. And with fitness, it doesn't so much that you need a degree. It helps because you can, in commercial fitness, you can move up and even then, if your sales are out through the roof, they'll move you up, but yeah, just kind of stopping and starting.
Are you entrepreneurial at all?
No. My last ex, she's got the eye for like, ooh, a business. Like if you did a business like this and did that, and
did that drive you crazy?
No.
It's just not in your behavior.
It's just I don't know if it's too risky.
Oh.
I'm a risk intolerant person. I think I took too many risks early, and I feel like I'm coming back from those risks that I took in my late 20s and even 30s. Because I tried to start a financial business at one point that didn't go very well, and with being entrepreneurial, you've got to take a risk of no income, get zero income coming in. That might pay off later as far as the business goes. And I think my risk tolerance is gone.
Yeah. So now it's not for everybody. I mean, I've been doing this for 26 years, and I've never been a W-2 employee, so never gotten a paycheck. It's either I sold a house or I didn't eat. So been doing that a long time. I know what you mean.
I mean, I'm numbers driven, sales driven. So, I mean, that aspect I get, right? But it's just thinking about my kids and the responsibility that I have for them right now. I cannot, if it makes sense, I
get it.
I can't risk it. I can't risk it right now.
Yeah. No, I get that.
And it's probably why I've been with this company for 8 years. It's actually the longest I've been anywhere, by the way. Yeah. I mean,
8 years is a long time to stay anywhere.
Yeah. Well, I mean, when I was in the fitness world, I mean, to be 2 years at this gym, 3 years at that gym, 2 years at this gym, you move up as a fitness director. Now you go to that gym for 2 years, you master trainer now. So they move you over to the Lakewood. So we're did a lot of jumping around as far as that's concerned. And,
You know what I saw on Facebook? I think you posted something where you knew the couple that got killed right down the street.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Did you work out with them?
Chad and Kendra,
Yeah.
I've known them probably as long as the kids have been alive.
Oh, that's wow.
Yeah. Before the kids were alive, actually, Alicia and I sat down with them, like 16 years ago. Just shared the same gyms. Like every gym I've gone, Chad and Kendra have showed up. We just shoot the breeze every now and then. It was just, I watched his boys turn into men and get married, and he watched my babies turn into teens. And yeah, the craziest thing about when I heard that they had been murdered, sadly, the week before, Chad and I had a discussion, maybe 2 weeks before. It's like a month before. I seen him at the gym, our usual talk. He had been recovering from double shoulder surgeries, not getting activation in his lats, and his shoulders were still kind of stiff.
Was he a big guy?
Tall guy. I mean, anybody's taller than me, but he was bigger since the surgeries, right? He was losing mobility and couldn't go as hard, and coming back from shoulders, it takes a year. And so he had both done. So, and he's a gym advocate. So he was always, even when he couldn't lift, he was in there just trying to do abs or legs or something. But I had it suggested to him, hey, you should see an acupuncturist, stimulate some nerve endings, some muscle tissues that have gone dormant because you're not activating, which happens sometimes due to injuries. And so 2 weeks later, which is a week before I found out they had passed, he came up to me and he was grabbing. He's like, I know we ain't supposed to do this, but, and he gave me a big old bear hug. He's like, wow. You saved me, man. My shoulders feel so much better. And he's like, he pulls me over to the shoulder press. He's like, look at this. And starts pressing. He's like, looks so much better, doesn't it? And I was like, man, he's like, thank you so much. And I was just like, man, you'd have done the same for me. And, just we kind of like,
Yeah, that cool relationship.
Had that cool and it felt like so weird that it just happened. We've never hugged before like that. Like it was just, one of those things where he was very appreciative of giving that advice. And then,
How'd you find out?
Facebook.
Oh,
somebody was like, they did him trying to do collect money for the boys.
Yeah, I saw that post too.
What? I was like, no way. I cried. I shed some tears. I'm like, they're good people. I mean, always good to see you. Happy to see you.
You have no idea, like, who they're still looking for that. Whoever did that.
Yeah, I don't know.
Dang.
Yeah, wow. I wouldn't even know who would dislike them enough to do that. They're
very likable people.
Yeah.
Just very cool and
very strange.
Well, I know that they had like some investment properties or like a fix and flip going, and that wasn't going so well or something like that. So I don't know if that had something to do with it.
We personally, we like didn't know a deep level of each other, so I wasn't sure.
Yeah.
About any of that.
Well, I hope they catch whoever did it, because that's
me too, man.
That's horrible. Yeah. Do you stay in touch with their kiddos?
When I see them at the gym, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, they're in the gym regularly.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. Wow.
I had just talked to his oldest actually too, before I left for Dallas. Yeah, talked to him about he got good parents, bro, and they're. Like, I was like, are they pushing you to get grandkids? Kind of just shoot a bit. I'm like, you guys should wait as long as you can. Like, whenever people are gonna have kids, I'm always telling them, you know what, you can prepare all you want, but you're never ready. Having kids is a whole different dynamic.
Yeah, that would have been good advice for me 5 kids ago.
Oh man,
I never learned. No,
well, because we knew what was coming, right, and we prepared, and that's all we did, because we weren't really ready for what was coming, because it came fast.
Yeah. Here's the biggest thing. How do you know when you're doing a good job as a dad? How do you know?
When your kids are mean to you.
What does that mean? Like they're just like teach you like one of the friends, or
they're comfortable enough with you that they can be who they are. And if that means being mean, it's okay. Like,
are they mean to you a lot?
They love me, but boy, they're mean to me.
They're mean.
You know what I mean? So I know that they love me and feel comfortable with Dad is, not, dad is dad and he loves him.
Hmm.
They say you're the better parent when they're the hardest with you. Yeah.
I've been pretty good then.
Yeah. Yes,
Yeah.
you have. You're a great dad.
What do you think there, son? No comment? Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I think I saw somebody who, Billie Eilish's mom.
Oh, yeah.
She's a child therapist.
Oh.
And she's the one that was like, the hard years are the teen years because they're going to be mean and they're going to hate you but that's when they need you the most and that's when they love you the most.
So you're right in the thick of it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And then you have a boy and a girl. Yeah. So, I mean, how's that dynamic? I mean, geez.
I mean, it's always been pretty crazily interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just the difference in maturation. And my daughter did everything first, walked, talked. I mean, she used to interpret for Roman, my son Roman, because I wouldn't understand him sometimes when they were babies. I'd be like, oh, I caught 3 words, big guy. And she'd be like, Dad, he said da 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 da. And then I'd be like, oh, got it. Thanks, interpreter.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
So how do they interact? Do they get along or do they fight? Do they
brother and sister?
Okay. Sibling stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Same stuff.
Yeah.
Except, they've been doing it probably since they were in the womb.
Right.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
See what you have to look forward to, buddy?
It's fun though. I can tell you to watch it. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I wouldn't give it back for anything. It's just the saddest part is watching them grow up.
Yeah.
I always tell them, if you want to stay babies, I'll take care of you forever. But of course, that's not how nature works. You got to watch them grow up.
Yeah. Unfortunately, they grow up and then they go from kid problems to adult problems.
Yeah. And so early on, I found out Roman was not Mr. Competitive. He didn't want to compete. He didn't care about sports. It wasn't that big a deal. And adversely, Bella's different. Bella's wants to be pushed, wants to be coached, wants to be that next challenge. What is it? So I can talk. I have to talk to him different. I can talk to her like I talk to one of my wrestlers, right? Like when we're about to go on the mat or something, I can coach her up. I mean, I don't know a lot about cheer, but I can, what I know as an athlete, how to deal with things, and she'll take it. If I give that same demeanor to my son, he won't receive it.
Isn't that so interesting?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So is Roman more like you or like mom?
Both.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm super sensitive and he's super sensitive.
Okay.
And I think because of that, we kind of battle. Not battle, but butt heads.
Butt heads, sure. Yeah. Yeah.
He'll piss me off and I'll piss him off. And that's why I mean, like with Bella, her and I can argue and I know we're cool. Like, it's all right. She'll be back in a moment.
Mm.
But with him, I have to check in on him. You good? Are we good?
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah. And she's a lot like her mom as well. Assertive, opinionated.
Good qualities.
Hard work. I mean, I think in this day and age, if you aren't a self-advocate for yourself, it's going to be a hard life for you. And she's not short of that. She'll tell you how she's feeling and she's determined to do whatever she can to be in a better position for herself. And it's a good quality for her to have right now.
Love it.
Yeah.
I love that, man. How is this connecting you and I? I mean, we weren't so close. We were in high school. I mean,
I think I might have been closer with your wife at some point.
Yeah, I think so. Just being in Lafayette and Angevine and all that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My sisters and all of that.
Yeah. I think we were cool in high school, though.
Yeah. Of course. Yeah.
I guess you wouldn't be here if we weren't.
Yeah.
Why did you say yes to coming on?
I've always I almost started my own podcast a few years ago, and just before COVID hit, and then COVID hit, and then just everything kind of went haywire, and I just kind of been putting it off. And kind of see the background and see what it's like. And yeah,
Why don't you
yeah,
start one?
yeah. I mean, I don't know. I
You
don't
got a
know why I
lot of
haven't.
knowledge. You got, you could share a lot. I mean, ton of
Yeah.
experience. I mean, yeah.
And, truthfully, I think, the drawback is that if you speak your truth, even though, your truth is yours and, you know, you know, perspective is coming from yours and you speak it, perception is that you might be hurting some feelings, right? But my perception, it was my reality. You know, I don't know if my dad hears this back, I don't know how he'll feel about it, how I feel about the situation, If my ex-wife hears this back, I don't know how she's going to feel about what I've expressed about us, or my exes or whoever, right? Like my kids, maybe someday they hear the podcast too. So it's that's a big thing, is having to know that no matter what, how you say it, perception, however that person perceives it might get their feelings hurt, and got to be prepared for kind of the drawback of that, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So that would hold you back then from starting it, or?
I think maybe at
Yeah.
the beginning.
Yeah. I thought about that too when I was first starting this, but it's who I am. That's who I
Yeah.
am.
No, I know exactly.
And I can't, I mean, if I offend people, I'm sorry. But that's
It's my
who I
reality.
am. That's who I am. Yeah. That's
Agreed.
my truth. Yeah. So,
But I think I'm going to revisit it, and I do have a little information. And
what would you call it?
gosh, I don't know. I don't know.
Would there be a focus like bodybuilding or parenting or?
Yeah, I could do. I mean, somebody told me and my ex one time, you guys should do a podcast on your guys' relationship and how it all works. And I'm like, yeah. You know what I mean? But yeah, that's a good idea. Maybe some people would tune in, and how, we do co-parent very well. So
That is unique.
yeah.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
What do you do for fun?
Work out, buddy. Hang out with my kids. It's like fun and therapy for me.
That's true. It is definitely a good stress reliever.
If I don't work out, I can't sleep. What else? It's just my day is out of order in a sense, right? And then the only thing I'm thinking about is getting back to the gym.
Oh,
If I miss the gym, my next thought is, when can I get back to the gym?
you're obsessed.
Totally. I can say that comfortably. It is.
Do you think you could be that obsessed with something else?
That gives me as much joy?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe a person, but other than that, maybe not.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like this, you found like your pure joy.
Yeah, like that's, yeah. When I'm angry, I go to the gym. When I'm heartbroken, I go to the gym. When I'm confused, I go to the gym. When I can't think or can't make a decision, go to the gym. It's my solution for all of it.
Everything.
And to be honest with you, in those moments of struggle and pushing and pulling and breathing hard and moments of rest, you get clarity about situations. You get clarity about what's next. You get clarity about where you're going next, or, just whatever when I'm dealing with in those moments where I'm resting or in between. I usually work out alone too, so I do a lot of internal thinking. I get clarity on a lot of things, and that's probably why I use it as therapy.
Well, that's a huge blessing that you found that outlet, because most people are still searching.
Yeah.
And they're trying to find that one thing that does all those things that you just described. And it could be a lifetime.
Yeah.
And you found it early.
Yeah.
What a blessing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Early I thought it was, Christianity and God, and I do have some belief in that, less as much than I used to. But really I call it the iron philosophy, the iron church, really. One thing that will never change is that 200 pounds will always be, at least here on earth, 200 pounds will always be 200 pounds.
It will always be heavy.
Yeah. It won't ever confuse you. Yeah. It'll kick you the real deal. Can you pick me up or you can't?
That's a weird philosophy, man. That's an interesting mindset.
Yeah.
That's pretty deep.
I
200 pounds.
Somebody said it before, Tim Rollins or Jim Rollins or somebody like that. That's where I got it from.
Wow.
And it just stuck with me. He's right.
That's pretty cool.
People will change their opinions about you. They'll love you today, hate you tomorrow. But 200 pounds will always be 200 pounds.
That could be the name of your podcast.
Right? 200 pounds.
That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, I don't really would want to stick to a theme either, because I talk about everything, right? Shoot, we could do a podcast on tequilas. I love tequila.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is that your kryptonite?
That's my my whole.
A lot of calories in tequila. A lot of sugar.
It's better for you than anything else.
Is that right?
Oh yeah. Yep.
Ooh. Okay. Like margaritas or just straight tequila?
Just straight tequila.
Oh, okay. I don't know about that. Whew.
It's my drink of choice now. Oh yeah.
What's your favorite brand?
Currently, I switched between the Mi Campo and Terramana, the Reposado.
What's the difference? What makes a good tequila?
It's got to be 100% agave. Weber agave. A lot of people get all like lowland tequila, highland tequila, but as long as it's cooked Horno style, not pressure cooked, not extracted, but crushed Tahona style or shredded, and then done the way that it's supposed to be. Blancos, you don't rest. Blancos can go straight into a bottle. Reposados, 3 to 6 months. Añejos, 2 years.
The tequila connoisseur.
I really got into it, with working here at Southern, just learning a lot. And the idea that it's part of my heritage. Before you would just be like Jose Cuervo and be like, oh, it's so gross. I find people who don't like tequila had that Jose Cuervo moment in their life.
Oh, sure.
Where they threw it all up or something. Yeah, they'll never touch it again.
Yep.
Tequila is so much better now. It's so different. And, me learning that, it's from Jalisco. Everything's got to be in Mexico. There's generations and families of growing the crop. And, it's part of our Mexican heritage. That's part of who we are as, my family. So there's some pride to be had in the product, not just slamming it,
Yeah. Yeah. Sipping it and really enjoying it.
And that's the difference between how you were young, right? Shooting, taking shots and drinking it up. And now it's really just a slow sip and,
It's treated more like whiskey now.
Yeah. It's a slow sip and you just.
Yeah. Enjoy it.
You enjoy it and you finish your night or your dinner or whatever and celebrate to whatever, it's not always about getting turned up,
Yeah. No.
I don't turn it up a lot. And my lifestyle just doesn't have time for the turn up.
Yeah. It doesn't make a good night at the gym or morning at the gym. No. Yeah. Wow. Dang, man. Well, I think we can wrap it up there.
Yeah. Appreciate you.
Yeah.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks for coming on.
Yeah, of course.
And I look forward to hearing your podcast if that ever gets launched.
Yeah. Heck yeah.
So, right
Thanks.
on.